Hi, my name's Jenny and I work for Liverpool Learning Partnership. At the moment, we're running a series of author events so that children can get inspired by real life authors and listen to them talking about their books and about how they write. We're also doing a range of workshop sessions to support these. This is one of those, and this one is about the work of Susanna Lloyd. Today, we're going to be thinking about a particular animal, and this animal features in the book by Susanna Lloyd that she's going to be reading in her author session. So I'm going to think about this animal, and I'm going to give you 3 different clues as to what this animal might be. See if you can guess it. So this animal has pointy ears. It has orange, bristly fur, and it has a bushy tail. Can you think of what animal it might be that has pointy ears, orange bristly fur and a pointy tail? Can you tell me what it is? Did you get it right? It's fox. How did you know? Have a look at this picture of the fox. Can you see its pointy ears? It's orange bristly fur and it's just about at the bottom you can see the bushy tail. I'm wondering what else you know about foxes. We know that they've got pointy ears, bristly fur that is orange and a big bushy tail. But I bet you know some other facts about foxes. Maybe you could tell me something else about what they look like. You could tell me about other parts of their bodies. Maybe you know where they live. Maybe you know what they eat. Or maybe you know something else that's special about foxes. You could pause this video and you could jot down some of your ideas about foxes. You could write some of them down. Maybe you could draw some little pictures. You could do some diagrams to show me all about foxes. If you have someone there that is available to talk to you, you could tell them about foxes. Or you could whisper it to the computer so I could know about foxes. You could tell me. Brilliant fox facts, everyone. They were really great. So here are some fox facts that I've got. Foxes are members of the dog family. Foxes will eat most things: spiders, worms, berries and small animals. They're not fussy eaters, are they? And foxes tend to come out at night. There's a really special word for animals that tend to come out at night and tend to sleep in the day. It's called nocturnal. Foxes can live in towns or in the countryside. When foxes live in towns, we call them urban foxes. Foxes have really good hearing, so they could hear something happening quite a long way away. So we've spent some time thinking about what we know about real foxes. I'm now wondering if you've read any books about foxes or seen any TV shows or films with fox characters in. What books, TV shows or films can you think of that have got fox characters? You can pause the video now, you could jot it down, or you could just think or talk about the characters that you know of that are foxes. Did you think of some? Here's some foxes that I thought of. Fantastic Mr. Fox is a book and a film. And the book by Roald Dahl has a main character who is a fox. There's a fox in the story of The Gingerbread Man, who asks the gingerbread man to jump on his back, jump on his head, because he says he's saving him and taking him over the river, but really, he wants him to jump on his nose so he can eat him. I thought about Mr. Todd, who is in the Peter Rabbit books and on the Peter Rabbit TV series. I thought about the fox that features in the story of the Gruffalo. And I thought about a film that I've seen, Zootropolis, which has a character called Nick Wilde, who is a fox. Pick a fox that you know of from a story. It could be one of the ones I mentioned, or it could be a different fox. Think about how they behave in the story. Can you think of some words to describe the fox that you've picked? I've put some pictures of the different ways foxes might behave around the screen, and I've also put some words to help you. These words might describe the fox from your story. Good, sly, clever, strong, hungry, honest, cunning, tricky, brave, funny. Do any of those words describe the fox in your story? Can you think of any other words to describe the fox in your story? Tell me about how that fox behaves. Again, you can jot this down. You could speak to somebody who's there if that's possible, or you could whisper it to the computer. Two of the characters I thought about were Mr. Todd from the Beatrix Potter stories and the fox in the Gingerbread Man. When I thought about it, I realised that both of these characters are very sly, tricky characters, and they want to eat a different character in the story. Mr. Todd's always trying to eat Peter Rabbit and the other little creatures and rabbits. And the fox in the Gingerbread Man, he tricks the Gingerbread Man into jumping onto his nose where it's easy for him to eat. They're both very sly and both very clever. They've got that in common. Nick Wilde and Fantastic Mr. Fox are both clever as well, and they can play tricks. But they are the goodies in their stories. They're not villains. They're not trying to eat the other characters. They're trying to help them. So foxes aren't always bad characters when they're in stories, but they are often shown to be clever and a little bit tricky. Today, I'm going to introduce you to a story by Susanna Lloyd. This story has a fox in it, and we're going to use clues from the cover of the book to work out what this character is going to be like. Look at the front cover of this book. The book's called The Terribly Friendly Fox. It's written by Susanna Lloyd and it's illustrated by Ellie Snowden. Look very carefully at the picture. What can you see? What's happening? Look closely at the picture and you might spot some clues that might help us work out what this fox is going to be like as a character. Is he going to be a good character, or is he going to be a little bit of a villain? Have a look. Look at what he's wearing. Does that give you any clues as to what he might be doing? What do you think might be happening in the story? Look at what he's got in his hand. What is he doing with it? Does that give you clues? Do you think he's being nice, or is he being a bit mean? Have a little look at the shadow behind him. Does that look different to his main picture? What do you spot that's a little bit different with the shadow? Are there any clues that he's going to be a friendly character? Or are there any clues that he's going to be sly and a bit tricky, like Mr. Todd or the fox in the Gingerbread Man? Look again at the title of the story, The Terribly Friendly Fox. Makes it sound like it's a fox who's terribly friendly, meaning very, very friendly. However, look at how the word terribly is written. Does it look like it's written in a friendly way? Or does it look like it's written in a way that might mean he's more terrible? Does it give you any clues as to what he might be like in this story? I'd like you to write a few sentences explaining what you think this fox is like as a character. Do you think he's friendly? Do you think he's a goodie? Do you think he's a villain? Why do you think this? What clues make you think this? And what do you think might happen in the story? A useful word might be the word because. It'll help you explain why you think the fox will be like this. I think the fox will be a villain because. I think the fox will be friendly because. Remember to tell me what you think might happen next. When you've written your ideas down, you might want to share them with your school. And adults might also want to help share them with the Liverpool Learning Partnership. They can share it on our social media and they can use the hashtag Liverpool Writes, but make sure that an adult does that for you. We've got 2 online sessions with Susanna Lloyd where she's going to read that story and you can find out exactly what the fox is like. You can find those sessions on the 25th of January at 1:30 p.m, that's a Monday, or Thursday the 28th of January at 1:30 p.m. You can find it on our Facebook, YouTube and Twitter channels. It'll be live streamed then. So if you watch it, you'll be able to hear Susanna reading the story and you'll be able to find out exactly what that fox is like. Thanks so much for doing this workshop.